Scared to change gear.
5, I'm saying that's 5.
That probably looks really easy. That's hard. This thing, flipping amazing. Yo guys, I hope you're all good and welcome back to the Marin Bikes YouTube channel for another episode of Duncan Shows You. As you can see, we have swapped the countryside for the city, and that's because we're going to be running through the do-it-all casual commuter that is the Marin Bikes Kentfield One. Now before we get into the specifics, let's have a little bit of an overview of what this bike is all about. The Kentfield is essentially a commuter bike with an emphasis on comfort. So even after riding this bike for just a few days, it is clear to see just how versatile it really is. Whether you're after a commuter, a cruiser, something to go to the pub on, or even something to tackle some light off-road terrain on, this thing really does do it all. Now I was lucky enough to jump on a call this morning with product director and the designer of this bike, Aaron Abrams. He was telling me how over the past couple of years they've redesigned the range with an eye on style and fashion, but at the same time not losing sight of performance, ride and versatility of the Kentfield range. Now to delve a little bit deeper into the full spec of this bike, one of my main takeaways is that it looks like a steel frame. It's got the sort of cool aesthetics of a steel frame, but it's actually aluminium, meaning it's a pretty light bike. This is the diamond shaped frame, but it's also available in the step through version, which just makes it a little bit easier for getting on and off, depending on preference. Now looking at this bike, you just can't get away from just how tall that head tube is. And that is essentially what gives this bike its nice, comfortable, upright position. I'm riding this in its lowest stack height, but if you're that way inclined, you can get it even higher for an even more upright riding position. Now this is a disc-specific frame, complete with pannier racking mounts, so if you're wanting to have some on-bike storage, the option's there. Now moving on to the forks, Aaron was telling me how it was inspired by BMX forks. And unlike the aluminium frame, the forks themselves are made out of steel. The reason behind that is it'll just be a little bit more compliant, soaking up those bumps on the road, just making for a slightly more comfortable ride. Moving on to the brakes, as you can see, it is front and rear cable-operated disc brakes. What that's going to give you is consistent, high braking performance throughout all weather conditions with minimal maintenance. Now, of course, comfort is a key theme to this bike. The seat is super soft, so stop your bum from getting sore in those long rides. Now, both versions of the bike are going to come with 700C wheels, front and rear, and they're coupled with some nice high-volume tyres, which again give you really good comfort, taking out those bumps along the ride. And the semi-slick tread pattern is going to give you really good rolling speed, whilst giving you some nice cornering grip when needed. In terms of drivetrain, it's a nice simple setup. We've got a 34-tooth steel chainring at the front, a 7-speed cassette, and a Shimano Tourney derailleur. So there we have it. That is the Marin Bikes Kentfield One, a super versatile do-it-all bike. It looks great, it rides even better, and it's definitely made for fun. If you do have any questions about this bike or anything in the Marin range, please comment below, and one of the guys from Marin will be happy to help. Cheers.